Oh no, help, 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 I'm standing in quicksand.
Don't worry, I'm Spider-Man and I'll save you.
No, I don't want your help because you're extremely one-dimensional and bland. Plus, you don't look anything like Spider-Man.
Oh, cut me some slack, you try making an accurate Spider-Man character in Plotagon. Plus, you don't even look like you're stuck in quicksand. You're not even sinking.
Plotagon sucks.
Ah, Spidey and his amazing friends. Honestly, what can I say about this show that I haven't already mentioned before? It's a cheap PJ Masks clone, the stories are as bland as bread. And worse of all, it turned Spider-Man, one of my favorite superhero characters of all time, into a boring Mary Sue that has the flaws of my grandma's mac and cheese. And it's not just Spider-Man, but every character in this show is a Mary Sue. If you don't know what a Mary Sue is, it's an absolute perfect fictional character that has no flaws, and no weaknesses whatsoever. You know why people hate Mary Sue so much? Because they're not realistic, and they don't feel like real people. They feel like mindless, emotionless robots. And that's basically all the Spidey characters in a nutshell. They're all just boring, emotionless robots. They're all terrible characters. Well, not all of them. What if I were to tell you that there actually is a good character in Spidey? You probably wouldn't believe me, but it's true. In my PJ Masks clones video, I said that whoever could guess who's my favorite Spidey character would get a shout out. Well, unfortunately, no one managed to guess who it was, so I can't give out any shout outs. And now, it's time to reveal my favorite Spidey character. Are you ready? Okay. My favorite character of this disaster of a show is Black Cat. No, not Black Panther, Black Cat. Okay, let me explain. If you've never heard of Black Cat, then that's understandable, cause she's one of the more lesser known Marvel characters. Basically she's the love interest / enemy of Spider-Man. If you want to learn more about her, then watch the video that I left in the description. Now, what makes Black Cat so great is that she's actually three-dimensional. Whoa, a three-dimensional character in Spidey. That's not something you see every day. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. She actually has two sides to her personality. On one hand, she's a greedy thief who'd steal anything she sees. But she actually shows remorse for others, and she's willing to fix her mistakes. So for the rest of the video, we're gonna talk about 3 Black Cat episodes to show you more of her greatness. Firstly, let's talk about the Season 2 episode, Black Cat Chaos, aka, one of the only good episodes of Spidey. Oh and spoiler warning by the way, you know, if you actually care. Basically what happens is that Black Cat steals Iron Man's suit. And when Spidey tries to catch her, she ends up almost causing the bridge to collapse. When that happened, she actually felt remorse for what she did, and she even saved a guy from being hit by a car. Yeah, maybe you could argue that Black Cat should have faced consequences for almost killing people in the first place. But my point still stands, Black Cat is a three-dimensional character. There's also a scene at the end which, I have to admit, might be one of, if not, the only time I've laughed while watching Spidey. So basically, Spidey and Iron Man talk about how Black Cat did something good for once. And then, she outright steals Iron Man's car and drives off. Okay, I'm probably supposed to be mad at that scene, because Black Cat didn't change, and she still hasn't changed to this day. But the writers clearly set it up as a joke, and it actually got a chuckle out of me. So well done writers, you actually made me feel something. Now let's talk about the episode, Catnap Caper. In this episode, Black Cat decides to take a nap in a tree, and... Wait, Black Cat decides to take a nap in a tree. Why are you napping in a tree? You're not even a real cat. That's weird. Putting that aside, Black Cat loses her teddy bear, so she decides to steal random kids' plushies. To be honest, I felt like I was watching an episode of Super Kitties. Where in that show, rather than the villains doing bad stuff because they're bad, they do bad stuff just to solve a problem they're currently facing. So yeah, it was a pretty nice episode. Before we talk about the last episode, I really need to get this out of my chest. Where the frick are her parents? She's obviously a child in this show, and you're telling me that they just let her go out and steal stuff. Hopefully we get to meet her parents in future episodes. Okay, let's talk about one more episode before I go. It's called, The Maltese Kitten. What happens is that Black Cat and Doc Ock team up to steal the kitten statue. But Doc Ock betrays Black Cat and decides to smash it. So her and the Spidey team has to work together to get it back before she does so. I'll admit, I was honestly kinda disappointed by this episode. I know I should know better than to expect anything good to come out of this show, but when I heard the plot synopsis, I was honestly intrigued. I'm not saying this is Black Cat at her worst, because there's no such thing. But this episode's pacing was really slow. It takes about 8 to 9 minutes for the plot to happen. See this right here? This is the definition of false advertising. Because Team Spidey and Black Cat barely work together in this episode. All they really do is swing around the city together, and even that only lasts for 30 seconds. In fact, Black Cat outright betrays them in the end and steals the statue. Don't get me wrong, this is in character for her to do, but I was hoping for them to work out their differences and stop Doc Ock together. You know, cause that's exactly what the episode advertised. Even though this is my least favorite Black Cat episode, it's still one of the better episodes of Spidey. Simply for having Black Cat in it. Overall, out of all the Spidey characters, Black Cat is the most interesting, the most entertaining, the most explored, and the best written. But of course, one good character isn't enough to make the entire show good. Spidey and his amazing friends is still complete garbage. But at least there's something to look forward to when watching the episodes. Anyways, that's it for this video. As always, make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you think of this character, and the whole show in general. And until next time, party on.